Right, we're rolling. Let's put these headphones on and hear how this thing's supposed to sound. Hello. Ooh, there it is. Yeah, that makes more sense. Okay, so this is the first time I've actually heard this mic. How you're supposed to hear it. I put in my title... Where is it? Up there, maybe? I don't know. I put in my title that I broke my K2. I didn't actually break it. I bought it broken, but I didn't realize. So I got it on eBay, and I thought I was getting it for a good price. Didn't seem so cheap that it made me think it was broken. It was just like, oh yeah, this is a little bit below what you might find them for normally. Okay, cool. So, had it arrive, chucked it in the booth, tried it out. I'm like, okay, doesn't quite sound how I thought it would, but, you know, it's all right. It's bright. Compared it to my CAD E100, did the tube swap video. You may have seen those videos. And, you know, it kind of never dawned on me that it just wouldn't be working properly. I just thought it didn't suit my voice, and I'm like, okay, well, this is just how it sounds. So I just relegated it to drum room mic and left it at that. It kind of sat there for ages. It didn't get much use, and I was just always feeling a little bit disappointed with it. One of the comments in the tube swap video, somebody said, this doesn't sound quite right. This doesn't sound like my K2. And I'm like, well, that's interesting. And then I saw another comment. Somebody said something about, you know, it's not quite sounding right either. And I'm like, oh, well, maybe there's a problem. I don't know. I didn't really think. I thought, okay, well, maybe it's the room I'm recording in. It could be my voice. It could be a bunch of stuff. I don't know. So, I don't know, about a month ago, I grabbed the power supply and I was interested in trying some of the different polar patterns on it. And as I started to move the dial, nothing happened. And I'm like, right, this is not how it's supposed to be. And I did some Googling and people were like, no, you should be able to hear the difference when you move that dial. Because I saw some other people talking about how they couldn't hear anything either. What I found out later, theirs were broken as well. Essentially, they realized that they were broken. That made me realize that mine was broken. And I decided to send it back to Rode. Essentially, I had to send them a message. They're like, yeah, just send it back to us. And I'm thinking, oh, here we go. This is going to be very expensive. I boxed it up, sent it back. And within a few days, they're like, yep, we got it. I'm like, cool, okay, here we go. And just, you know, nervously waiting for the quote. And then about, I don't know, a bit less than 2 weeks later, I sent them a message. I hadn't heard anything. I said, hey guys, just wondering where things might be up to. You know, I was expecting to hear like, hey, by the way, it's going to cost you a few $100s to fix or whatever. And the guy that I was speaking to in there, he says, oh, we're just doing a tube saturation test and it should be ready to be shipped out tomorrow. And I'm like, so it's been fixed, right? I didn't pay anything. So I'm still kind of waiting for them to say, oh, by the way, you owe us this amount of money. Then I just kind of sat and waited again. And then probably a bit over a week later, the mic showed up. No invoices, no nothing. I'm just like, this is really weird. So these guys have fixed the mic. I didn't have to pay anything. I'm like, this is really strange. And then I got this note from Ivan, the technician, wrote me this lovely note. I can barely read it. This guy must be a doctor or something. And essentially he's written that big job, cable damaged, scratched PSU, faulty PSU connector, rusted body and mesh, broken valve, and capsule is filled with dirt. That's insane. The amount that they had to actually do just blows me away. And then, what does he say? All replaced and tested. Tested okay, yeah. Please take better care next time, as this is a pretty expensive mic. He literally wrote that. I love that. I feel really guilty, obviously, but it wasn't me that made this thing all broken as it was. And I feel like writing back, please forgive me, Ivan. It wasn't me. But, hey, this is somebody that cares. And honestly, I'm so impressed with Rode right now. It just blows me away. I don't know how they fixed the thing for free. They've taken so much care. They've gone beyond what I even asked them to do and didn't charge me, which is even more insane. Yeah, so really impressed. I mean, if I just paid to have that one little thing fixed, I'd still be happy. but they've gone above and beyond. So obviously now what you're hearing is the stock version. I'd say they've binned the Telefunken. They reckon it was broken. But for me, this is really exciting because honestly, the funny thing about this microphone is I first heard about the NTK and the K2 back in sort of the mid-2000s. And I used to, this is a really strange story, I used to chat online via email to a dude that was in a pretty popular band in the 80s. And if you know the remixed version, well, not remixed, but redone version of Funky Town, Pseudo Echo, I used to talk to Brian, the singer. He had a classic car, the same model that I used to own, and Nissan Datsun 280ZX or ZX, they say in America. And so he sort of connected with me in one of the Z groups, and he said something about being a muso. I said, I'm a muso. He said, oh, you may remember this band in the 80s, Pseudo Echo. I'm like, get the hell out of here. Is that you? And, I'm a child of the 80s. I was born in 81, so, I remember all that. And so then I started chatting to this guy, and he's been sort of running his studio for years and doing all this stuff. And he said, look, if you want to grab a really nice mic that's going to do a great job for you, get an NTK. He's like, I'm getting hold of a K2. It's a pretty similar beast. And so since the mid-2000s, I had my eye on these mics, and I just never got around to buying one. And I don't know why. I really have no idea why I never jumped in. I guess I used to feel guilty if I threw money at studio gear. But, these days, it's not so much of a guilt because I know that it's my love, it's my passion, I make money out of it, this is my thing, so I have no problem with that. Still, stupidly, I bought the cheaper eBay one that was broken, so shoot me over that. Anyway, but since the mid-2000s, it took me, I had this mic, I got this 2 years ago, so it took me 13 years, something like that, to finally buy one. Got it into the booth and tried it, and it just wasn't what I thought it was going to be, and I don't know. As I said, I thought it was my voice. I thought it could be the room or it could be something else. I thought maybe I'm looking for something different in a microphone and this wasn't it. But talking into it now, I'm hearing it really is quite a nice mic. There's heaps more bottom end, obviously. The mic was stuck in Omni before, so was not hearing it how it was supposed to be heard. I am hearing what people are talking about, though, in terms of that top end. It is a little bit scratchy for me. And especially my voice, I'm a bit more sibilant and a bit brighter voice generally, so it's more obvious. So I think now I'm thinking a capsule swap and a tube swap. A lot of people go for the Telefunken. In my other review, you could hear the difference. Telefunken was quite bright. Potentially it was broken. The Mullard, pretty sure wasn't broken. Mullard sounded really, really smooth. I have tried a Mullard in the past in another piece of gear, and it was amazing in that as well. So I think the Mullard's probably going to win in this regard. I think I'll grab a Mullard and I'll see how it runs. In terms of a capsule, I kind of refuse to buy a Chinese capsule from America. Like it's gone from China across the Pacific, then I'm bringing it back across the Pacific. This really doesn't make any sense. So to find one in Australia, well, I don't really want to pay $400-ish for a C12 capsule from Bee's Knees. There's another guy here, 3U Audio. I'm waiting to hear back from him. His capsules are meant to be quite good. I'm just going to wait and see. Still doing my research, doing a lot of research. But I'm really curious to see. I'd love to try it out, put something different in there, try and smooth it out a little bit. Maybe a bit more vintage tone. I'm not really sure what I'm going for. But, you don't really know till you try. So anyway, I think that's pretty much it from me. So this was just me reporting on the fact that this thing was broken. I'm going to put a link in my other videos to say that I'm comparing a broken microphone. Very disappointed in myself that I didn't notice. Hope you've enjoyed watching, listening, my rambling as usual. There's the story. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you comment if you got something to say. See you next time for the next mic shootout, preamp shootout, studio thing, whatever it is. Make sure you check out my Instagram as well, Matt David Productions. Go check it out, go follow, and you'll see some of the other insider stuff that's going on the day-to-day production side of things in the studio. Thanks for watching, and catch you next time.